Today we're going to look at the pancreas, insulin, diabetes, so some things that you should probably be familiar with. Pancreas secretes hormones, therefore it's an endocrine gland. Also secretes digestive juices, it helps break down sugars. So it's also called an exocrine gland, and it's also part of your digestive system. So the pancreas kind of has a lot of different aspects that go with it. So if I look at the pancreas, it sits right next to the top of your small intestine. It has many ducts, the pancreatic duct being the large one that runs down the middle of it. Digestive enzymes it's going to secrete. Pancreatic islet, also used for secretion, and then hormone secreting. So your pancreas has a lot of different things that go with it, and I think I might have this a little close for today. Make sure you guys see everything. There we go. The structure, it's elongated organ, posterior, it sits below and kind of behind your stomach. The endocrine part is the islet of Langerhans, so that's the endocrine part. It has two cell types, alpha cells and beta cells. Alpha cells are going to secrete glucagon, and beta cells secrete the insulin. And these are the parts that we'll be interested in for our endocrine unit. There's a duct that joins the pancreas to the duodenum, which is the top of your small intestine, and that's where the digestive juices enter the intestine. There's just a micrograph. I won't have that on the test, but you can see a small islet of Langerhans. It's a little bit different in color. It'll have a pinker color. The hormones, the part that we want to talk about, glucagon increases glucose. So it's going to increase glucose level in your blood by breaking down glycogen and converting things into glucose. So glucagon increases glucose levels. It basically increases sugar levels. The release of glucagon is controlled by negative feedback. So in a normal human being, when your nervous system reads your blood levels, if I have low blood glucose, so it's been hours since I've eaten, my blood sugar is low, glucagon is going to be released and it's going to increase your blood sugar levels. Insulin then does the opposite. Insulin is going to decrease the blood levels of glucose. It's going to stimulate the formation of glycogen instead of glucose, and it promotes diffusion of glucose into our cells. So what really happens is it takes the sugar out of your blood, and it's going to move it into your cells. It's going to use it for protein synthesis, or that extra sugar becomes stored as fat. So your insulin takes the sugar out of the blood levels and puts it in different places. Here again, negative feedback. It's kind of a back and forth regulation between insulin and glucagon. Insulin and glucagon coordinate, they work together, and they try and keep a relatively stable blood glucose level. If you know anything about diabetes, too high or too low of levels of glucose in your blood can lead to bad situations, can actually cause almost like seizures and things like that. So here's just a diagram that shows, okay, what happens? My blood level is too high. My blood glucose level is increased. So beta cells pick that up. I'm going to secrete insulin because I have too much glucose. Insulin breaks down glucose, takes it out of the bloodstream, should go back to normal. Opposite, my blood glucose level is too low. Alpha cells pick that up, tell my body, my pancreas, to secrete glucagon, and that is going to increase my blood glucose level. So basically, your pancreas secretes two hormones that are going to keep your blood levels normal. Diabetes then, diabetes mellitus, is a disease due to not enough insulin, lack of insulin, or maybe your body produces insulin, but for some reason your cells don't notice that. They don't respond to that. There's type 1 diabetes and type 2 diabetes. Type 1 is an autoimmune disorder. Your beta cells are destroyed and therefore you do not produce insulin. Type 1 diabetes you usually have when you're young. You find out when you're young, this person will probably have to have an insulin pump or insulin injections where they have to add insulin to their body. Type 2 diabetes is when insulin is produced but your cells don't pick it up. A lot of times type 2 diabetes is developed as someone gets older. So their body still produces insulin, but for some reason the body's not using it properly. Symptoms: hyperglycemia, too much blood sugar, glycosuria, polydipsia. Most common one is hyperglycemia or hypoglycemia. All of these deal with the levels of sugar in your blood. And those levels of sugar can also affect the pH levels of your blood. And we'll stop there for right now.